What's up? What's up? What's up? It's your boy Domuto. We're back with another video. Today we're watching Charlotte Saiyan. What if the Z fighters grew like Saiyans? So this is we're on part 3. I've been watching part 3, and in part 2 we might watch part 4, part 3 and 4 today. So you know what I'm saying? Make sure y'all, relax, get your drink, get your snack, and you know what I'm saying? We'll get into it, man.
Piccolo has the perfect idea. If they really want to get strong, they should head to King Kai's planet for gravity training. That did wonders for him, and he's sure everyone else will benefit from it too. Vegeta definitely will be back, probably stronger than before thanks to the Zenkais that he gets. Next time they're gonna have to find a way to finish it instantly, and they were almost able to do that here. But if they just had a little bit more power, then they'd be able to do that easily. Goku looks forward to fighting him again too. And this King Kai guy sounds pretty cool. I mean, look at what he did for Piccolo. Piccolo's like the strongest of the group now. It's awesome. Bulma eventually gets word of this too, and decides that maybe it's not best that they go to King Kai's planet. She could do something even better. What if she made a room where gravity could be adjusted to whatever level they want? Not just 10 times Earth gravity, but even up to 100, 300, whatever. They can continuously increase it. And they trust her to find this out. They know she's definitely capable of doing so. And she ends up building a gravity chamber. So instead of everyone going to King Kai's planet, they decide to train here. Honestly, it's probably for the better. King Kai's been watching, and he didn't really want that many people on his planet. It could have been fun, but for such a small planet, he can't have a bunch of people on there.
Definitely
They
can't.
could try and learn the Kaioken later. And as for Piccolo, he'll just continue practicing with it. Now with this gravity room built by Bulma and her dad, everyone's got the perfect way to train. Yamcha also continues to try and reconcile with Bulma as well. The best part is he's actually still alive after the Saiyan saga.
True.
And whenever they're gravity training,
Yamcha trying to raise it up. He trying to get that old thing back.
For advice. Not the best person for that, but Krillin supports his friend. Not like anyone else would have great advice for him. And this is actually pretty important because remember, this was one of the main factors to motivate Yamcha's training. Not too noble of a reason, but doing that to impress Bulma, hey, at least it's something. Some time passes. Vegeta's still healing, and Frieza looks more into Earth, trying to figure out what this planet was that Vegeta went to, and more importantly, why only one of them came back. Some scouts are sent around the planet too, and they notice there's some fluctuating powers. Most of the population seems to have really low powers, but occasionally their scouters will pick up on some other powers, and they rapidly fluctuate. A normal power could suddenly shoot up to about 10,000, and then right back down. There's others that are fluctuating within the thousands range, and then going up to the tens of thousands range. There's even one that hits 6 figures pretty early on. They think their scouters are malfunctioning, but Frieza says that's probably not the case. He definitely wants to continue looking into this, and they need to examine this planet more closely. Piccolo's out in a wasteland one day. He needs some more open room to practice with Kaioken, and thankfully Ten and Yamcha are here too to help him with that. Wanting to spar with Piccolo in order to face him at his full strength, and they notice some sort of strong power nearby. Not particularly strong, but way stronger than anyone they've sensed on Earth. Probably only a couple hundred or a couple thousand. There's a few of them, some scouts that are here. Crap, they're noticed. How did the scouts get noticed? These guys don't have scouters. There's no way they'd be able to detect them. But the scouts are pretty intrigued because it seems like there's aliens here. Look at Piccolo, that Namekian. Frieza wonders if there's any other aliens there. More scouts are sent on Earth to get a closer look. These scouts that are spotted get eliminated instantly, and the entire battle is transmitted back to Frieza. They're able to manipulate their powers at will. These scouts were no match for them. Even one of them individually could have wiped out multiple scouts at once. But one of the scouts details something that seems pretty interesting. An Earthling that looks very familiar. Or maybe it isn't an Earthling. He can't really tell, but Frieza gets a closer look, and he sees exactly what's happening here. That isn't an Earthling. He racks his brain. He kind of recognized this guy. That hairstyle. That's a Saiyan. There's no doubt. He looks just like that one that rebelled so long ago. And then it all makes sense. That's why Vegeta went there. This Saiyan resembling that other Saiyan. Maybe they're related. Or maybe this Saiyan was actually related to one of the others in his crew. This is why Raditz, Nappa, and Vegeta all went there. But he wonders if this is worth his time. He doesn't necessarily know of anything valuable on Earth, but the powers do concern him. A Saiyan growing that strong, especially because it looks like he has a kid too. They're procreating. More Saiyans maybe. This angers him to no end. He thought he wiped out all the Saiyans so long ago, but no, there's a survivor out there. I mean, he knew about Vegeta, but at least Vegeta, he can keep under his control. This Saiyan, he knows nothing about him. He needs to fix this issue before it becomes an issue. Vegeta's of course completely left in the dark. At some point he does fully heal, and he starts training again, preparing to head back to Earth on his own. Some other Frieza soldiers are making some really weird remarks to him, like they know about something that he doesn't, or rather, they know that Vegeta knows something that they don't. And Vegeta's getting a little suspicious. Frieza slowly starts moving out the army. He doesn't want Vegeta to know at all. Actually, Frieza does give Vegeta a mission. Frieza was going to have the Ginyu Force go to some other planet, but he actually needs the Ginyu Force with him. Instead, Vegeta could go to this place. It's some weird planet called the Yardrat. He'll be able to handle it himself. Let's get into some power levels right now. Piccolo's at a power of about 50,000. But what's most interesting is that he's practiced more with Kaioken, getting it up to even times 40 by now. Goku was
Times
actually able to use
40.
times 20 by the time he was on Namek. And like I mentioned before, Piccolo could handle Kaioken better thanks to him having regeneration. So it's not unrealistic to assume that by this point he'd have an even higher level of Kaioken. And by training at these higher levels as well, it does help him grow faster. Roshi's actually not too far behind Piccolo's base power. At full strength, Roshi's at 45k. He wants to remain ahead of his students, Krillin and Goku, who are both at 40,000. He tells them he still has some tricks up his sleeve, and as their master, he does need to have a higher power than them, in order to push them to their absolute limits. Chi-Chi's not too far behind, at 35,000, with Tenshinhan and Yamcha also at the same power. Surprisingly enough, Gohan's at 30,000, at least when he's controlled. They don't know the extent of his full power, with him still not having controlled it fully. And even Chaozu's at a pretty high level, 30,000 as well. Although, unlike Gohan, this is his actual limit. And Yajirobe comes in and out, but he's still Yajirobe and probably still a little bit too lazy. We'll be generous. Let's put him at 5,000, I guess. More of the Frieza Force descends on the planet soon enough. The group already expected some sort of alien invasion after seeing all those scouts, but they don't know who this is. I mean, they're wearing those same scouters that the Saiyans had, so it must be related. They do remember hearing from Raditz and even Vegeta that there was some Frieza guy out there. It must be him. Zarbon and Dodoria are the first to arrive, and just as they do, they're immediately eliminated, with a bunch of soldiers following it. Great, looks like they have to fight these guys now. It's just waves of random soldiers that they have to defeat, which isn't too tough, but still, it's annoying that they have all these people here on Earth. Especially because some of them do need to end up spreading out actually, with certain Frieza Force soldiers trying to attack cities and whatnot, seeing if they could find anything valuable. Frieza watches from above. He still doesn't want to get his hands dirty, but he knows exactly who to send in. They're already with him. It's why he sent
the
Vegeta
Ginyu
to
Force.
The Ginyu Force is here. He didn't really want to resort to them this soon.
They
but
traumatized
should be able
little
to handle
Gohan
this.
when they was
He
little.
knew that the Earthlings would probably be a little bit stronger than he expected, but not this much. Defeating his army that quickly? It's interesting. So, the Ginyu Force are sent in, on a new special mission to eliminate these fighters. All the Frieza soldiers stop coming in, but the group sees 5 space pods heading down. Everyone flies over to where they're gonna land, grouping together once more.
Kill
Mom
them.
even flies over too, curious as to what's going on. She was told it's dangerous, but she honestly doesn't care. She wants to see if she could scavenge any tech from the army. Also, she might be able to gather some Dragon Balls if needed, because there is a lot of needless destruction here. The group is protecting Earth, trying to keep casualties to a minimum, but they can't protect everything. And they're furious about that. Having this whole army here against them is not fair. But now things have calmed down. There's only these 5 soldiers left. But from what they could sense, they seem pretty powerful, so maybe this is the real deal. The Ginyu Force steps off their ships, striking a pose, and immediately, they get down to business. And Ginyu could tell from their powers, he has no need to swap bodies because everyone's weaker than him anyways. Except for one guy, that Namekian. His power briefly flares up at some points, even going past 1 million, 2 million even. It's very brief, but still, that's worth noting. Maybe he could steal that guy's body, ending this fight quickly. Right now the battle's not too tough, but this will just make the battle even easier. And he's able to use his trump card, swapping bodies with Piccolo without anybody knowing, at least not at first. And once he's in Piccolo's body, he realizes he's actually weaker now. Not only can't he tap into Piccolo's full base power, but he can't use Kaioken. And Piccolo's confused at first, but laughs. Seems like Ginyu played himself. He might have Piccolo's body, but he doesn't have Piccolo's power. Not at all. And he tells everyone, Ginyu probably doesn't know how to regenerate either. So he tells everybody, hold nothing back, just don't kill him. But any injuries, it doesn't matter. And Ginyu wonders why they're doing this. They completely overwhelm Ginyu in Piccolo's body. And Piccolo's right. Ginyu doesn't even know about the regeneration or how to use it. He takes a lot of damage in the battle, and he realizes he needs to jump to another body right now. This was actually a terrible maneuver. At least the rest of the Ginyu Force is able to keep up, but now, Ginyu's being beaten up. He sets his sights on Roshi next. Maybe he could take his body. So quickly, he tries to swap with Roshi. And Roshi quickly vanishes as the beam flies far away, completely missing Roshi. Roshi then grabs onto Ginyu's body, flinging it far into the distance, trying to make it hit that beam. And it works. The two swap bodies again, with Piccolo back in his original body, instantly trying to regenerate any damage. He still is a little bit worn out, but at least he's not bleeding out like that body. Piccolo quickly launches a blast in the distance, which hits Ginyu head-on, destroying him instantly.
Yes, sir.
The rest of the Ginyu Force continues to fight. And honestly, it's not too bad. There's only the 4 of them, and they are powerful, but the group is able to actually hold them off pretty well. Golo's the most annoying, being able to stop time by stopping his breath. They try to attack him, but the rest of the Ginyu Force defends him, knowing that he's their most valuable asset right now, funnily enough. But out of nowhere, Golo randomly explodes, and the group senses another high power. Vegeta's there, furious. They didn't even see his ship get here, and he's absolutely livid right now. He knew Frieza was trying to pull something on him. Once he assigned him on that weird mission to Yardrat, he knew something was up. He'll head to that planet later on. Seems like he could probably learn something useful there, but he didn't stay on Yardrat to fight. The second he got there, he saw that all the Frieza troops are heading towards Earth. They wanted to get Vegeta away before moving in. Frieza knew this detour for Vegeta wouldn't work for too long, but it would at least hold him off. And he's amazed that everyone defeated the Ginyu Force. The group's ready to fight Vegeta too, and he's ready to fight them. Now with Frieza's army gone, it seems like there's nobody to fight here, except for one person, Frieza himself. he descends on the planet. A little bit ticked off, but not really too surprised. Impressive. He honestly thought the Ginyu Force would kill everybody, but that idiot Ginyu had to try and swap bodies with Piccolo, not realizing that Kaioken was an innate power of his. Everyone tries to attack Frieza at once, but he just stands there taking it. Nothing hurts him, at least not at first. Piccolo goes into Kaioken times 40, and he's able to significantly injure Frieza too. Why is this Namekian so powerful? He transforms into his second form. It's still not enough. Piccolo can use times 40 pretty easily, and actually, he tries to push it higher during battle, to times 50, maybe even a little bit more. Kaioken still does drain his stamina. Even though he can mitigate it tearing his body apart, he still can't mitigate the fact that regeneration takes some stamina to do. He still has to kind of use it sparingly. Piccolo tries to finish this as quickly as possible. Even though Frieza transformed, he still has an opening, and Vegeta just watches on dumbfounded. Frieza transformed and he's never seen this before, and even with that, Piccolo is still able to be ahead of him. Piccolo launches a full power blast at Frieza, trying to kill him right here and now. But the second it's about to hit, Frieza powers up once more, not even going to his third form, immediately going into his final form.
Oh,
the blast
shit.
It does absolutely no damage. And any damage he took before, that's gone. He seems perfectly fine now. The group can sense Frieza's power. This is way too much. Nobody's gonna be able to handle this. Frieza smirks as Piccolo tries to attack him, then swiping his arm, chopping Piccolo's arm off without any effort at all. He then launches a death beam, with Piccolo barely being able to move out of the way. Immediately, he turns his attention over to the rest of the group, seeing the Saiyans there, specifically Goku. That's the one he wanted to get rid of, so he might as well do it while he still can. He points at Goku, launching a death beam right at him. Yamcha's able to barely push Goku out of the way, being hit by the death beam himself. Frieza
Oh, not a little Yamcha.
Double kill then. He then points another finger at Goku, then being able to successfully hit him. Yamcha and Goku are on the ground critically injured. Frieza looks over at Gohan, about to launch a beam at him, but then getting punched right in the face by Chi-Chi, who heads right in with a huge rage boost. With the group noting that her power is increased, Gohan feels enraged too, jumping in fighting with her. Yamcha and Goku are writhing on the ground in pain, but Krillin comes over. They have a few Senzu, although not too many, but he gives one to each of them, with them healing fully, getting a huge boost in power. What the hell is this? Is this from them nearly dying? This power might help them. Their strength jumps significantly. Frieza is able to easily ward off Chi-Chi and Gohan. He delivers a swift punch to Gohan, hitting him right in the chest, and as he flies back towards the group, Frieza launches another death beam at him. And much to his surprise, Goku and Yamcha jump back in the fight. And after attacking Gohan just now, Goku's beyond furious. Same for Chi-Chi. The two fight together, with Piccolo and Yamcha at their side. Chi-Chi's strength is growing too. With her rage, she's surprisingly growing even stronger. And the only thing keeping Goku sane right now is the fact that they know that there's Senzu beans for Gohan. And Krillin's able to give him one. Gohan then jumps back into the battle too, and Frieza's confused. How are they getting back up from this? They seem completely healed and stronger than before. They're healing somehow, but how is that even possible? Frieza screams, with a massive explosion around him that sends everyone flying back. His eyes dart around, and he sees something interesting in the distance. A spaceship. And Goku notices Frieza's eyes lock onto it, and Frieza smiles. Maybe that's their healer, or one of their allies. And Goku yells out to Frieza, telling him not to do that. That's not a fighter. She's not involved at all. Yamcha's furious too, telling Frieza to stop it, and Frieza laughs. They seem upset. Piccolo powers up, yelling Kaioken times 100, launching right into Frieza, and just as he does, Frieza's hand pierces right through his chest.
Oh,
and
shit.
Won't let his Namekian regenerate. Piccolo falls to the ground, with Frieza launching a point-blank blast at his head, brutally killing Piccolo. He chuckles. There goes their strongest fighter, and now, here goes their healer. Bulma's watching from afar and sees Frieza looking at her. Quickly she tries to fly the ship away, but then sees a light heading towards her, and the group watches from a distance as her ship explodes. Frieza chuckles, looking down at the ground at Piccolo's mutilated body. Looks like they all failed here, and Frieza asks, who wants to be next to die? Vegeta could be fun, or that other Saiyan, maybe his brat. He didn't succeed in killing them before, but now without their healer, or presumably their healer, he can kill them easily. Roshi, Krillin, Tenshinhan, and Gohan all power up, ready to fight instantly. Chi-Chi tries to keep Gohan back so he doesn't get killed, but right now, after being healed, he's actually one of the strongest people here. And she's furious too, but nervous, as is everybody else. And for some reason, Vegeta feels stunned. He doesn't know what to do. Goku and Yamcha decide to fly over to Bulma's ship, seeing if she's okay at all, but when they get there, there's nothing left. Goku and Yamcha frantically search. This is one of Goku's closest friends, and for Yamcha,
it won't let you get away. Come on, Goku.
Goku is already furious beyond belief, but Frieza does one more thing to push Goku over the edge. Goku senses a power disappear. It's Roshi's. Back at the scene of the battle, Roshi's in his full power, and Frieza attacks him, being the biggest target here. Roshi falls to the ground next, but Frieza's then blinded by a light in front of him, and he also notices one in the distance too. Gohan starts glowing. His teacher, he's gone. His family, they're threatened here. His friends too. He absolutely loses it, with his hair glowing golden as he transforms into his Super Saiyan. And that same golden light is in the distance too. Watching Gohan and Chi-Chi be hurt like that, also seeing Piccolo and Bulma die, that already sent Goku over the edge, and Roshi's death made him even more furious.
Yes, sir.
Golden light launches in, as Goku then stands next to Gohan surprised. The two look at each other. They both transformed, and Frieza recoils in fear. Are those Super Saiyans? Vegeta can't believe what he's seeing, but at the same time, an ominous dark aura emanates from where Bulma's ship exploded. Someone else runs over, on all fours actually, and Frieza can't even react. Before he can even see who's attacking, he's already being hit by a bunch of attacks.
The fuck is that?
By claws, it feels like. Out of fear, he jumps back. 2 Super Saiyans and then somebody else. He doesn't recognize this fighter. He looks completely different. It's Yamcha. He's transformed, almost looking like a wolf, transforming out of anger just like the Saiyans. Yamcha stands beside Goku and Gohan in this new form that we'll call Alpha Yamcha. Krillin's back and
Alpha
power,
Yamcha,
exploding with rage at Roshi's death. A giant Hulk and Krillin stands behind them, with Ten, Chi-Chi, and Vegeta standing back. But even though Chi-Chi knows she can't hurt Frieza, she can't just sit here. Her rage flares up again, and she yells out at Goku and Gohan to kill that bastard, and Ten cheers on too.
kill that little
Let's
bitch.
finish this here and now. Vegeta watches on. He can't believe his eyes. Super Saiyans. That Earthling, he transformed too. Maybe they actually have a chance here. Empowered by their transformations, empowered by their rage, and with Goku, Yamcha, and Gohan being empowered by Zenkais too, as well as the rest of the group being there too, ready to help. But Frieza might still be able to overcome them. Frieza can't believe his eyes. The
That's
group is
funny.
completely reinvigorated.
Alpha
Goku
Yamcha.
and Gohan have seen the greatest increase in power, with Goku and Yamcha benefiting from a huge Zenkai, and Gohan benefiting from a rage boost as well. Surprisingly enough, they're all pretty much on equal footing. The 3 start attacking Frieza in unison, with the rest of the group backing them up. Yamcha charges in with powerful melee attacks, now having even grown claws, but he mixes them in with his normal moves as well. He moves a lot faster than before, a lot more animalistic. It makes it harder for Frieza to keep track of him as he runs around, on top of the fact that Goku and Gohan are fighting him as well. Of course, Gohan's not experienced like Goku, but he's still a pretty good fighter at this point in the story, and he could barely control the power that he has, which doesn't really matter because that means he's using it at 100%. Frieza needs to stop this now. He can't hold back any longer. He decides he's going to bring out his 100% power. He barely has an opportunity to transform, but he's given a brief opening, one that allows him to power up just enough, bulking up considerably, ready to continue this battle, and now they should be on even footing, the 3 of them versus Frieza. But Frieza's actually being worn out now, especially from those attacks he just took. They could tell. He's becoming desperate. He's acting like he's cornered. He tries fighting back, but now it's a lot tougher. He doesn't have the huge advantage that he did before. He can't be cocky like before, and he did this to himself. He created not 1, but 2 Super Saiyans, as well as whatever Yamcha is right now. He didn't even realize these things could transform, much less a Saiyan transforming beyond a grade 8. He needs to kill them, for good, and he knows just the way to do that. As they fight mid-air, Frieza sticks a hand out, pointing it towards the ground. Quickly, he charges a large ball of energy, launching it right towards the surface. As fast as they can, Goku, Gohan, and Yamcha all fly down, trying to push the attack back. Obviously seeing that Frieza's trying to blow up Earth, he adds more power to the attack, continuing to push it forward, laughing as he does so. He'll destroy them and this pesky planet. No one will stand in his way.
Little bitch.
He sees only 3 of them defending against the attack, and he doesn't even notice. Krillin's missing, and by the time he notices, it's already too late. He feels a sharp pain in his side. A Kienzon hits him. It doesn't cut clean through, but
Not
it
the
does
destructo
partially.
disc.
He grabs his side in pain, losing sight of the attack that he was powering and having it flung right back towards him. He stands there, bloodied and beaten, hurt by his own attack. He's fuming with anger, and he turns right towards Krillin, launching at him. Krillin quickly jumps up, and right behind him, Frieza sees Tenshinhan. Frieza sharply maneuvers away trying to get Krillin, but Krillin was just a distraction. Krillin launches a solar flare, blinding Frieza, as he's then spaghettified, stretched out with an ominous green aura around him. As Krillin yells now, Goku wonders what they're doing, but then he sees what's in front of Ten. There's a small container. He's using the Mafuba. Goku tells him to stop. It's gonna kill him, especially with that much power being used. But it's already too late. Ten performs the attack. Frieza's thrown into the container. While breathing heavily, he puts a seal on it. He tells them, now, destroy it. He flicks it up into the air. Goku, Gohan, and Yamcha all lock their eyes in it, and simultaneously, they perform a Kamehameha. With Frieza being weakened beforehand, and now weakened even further by being sealed, this is the perfect opportunity. Their attacks collide with the container, completely disintegrating it, killing Frieza inside as well. Ten smiles. He wishes he could have done more to help. And then he falls to the ground. Yamcha rushes over and so does Chaozu. They try to give him energy, trying to revive him in any way they can, but it's already too late. He used up too much energy with this attack. Unlike when he used it before, this required way more power. And after already fighting Frieza, it's not like he was in a great condition to begin with. His energy then slowly fades away, as he's the next to die. Yamcha's aura grows fiercer and flares up. His girlfriend, one of his closest friends, his teacher, and even Piccolo, who he wasn't close with but still another one of his friends, all gone. He yells out, with Goku feeling the same exact way. Yamcha's power increases even further, as then he passes out, going back into his base form, falling to the ground alongside Ten. Goku calms himself, trying to power down as he goes into his base again, and Gohan's clearly still in rage. He's having trouble doing so. He and Goku fly over to Chi-Chi, and they have to try to console Gohan. Goku holds his family close as he looks over at the rest of the group. Beaten and bloodied, missing a few people, and his eyes then connect with Vegeta's. Vegeta can't believe what he just saw. Everything about it. It's unfathomable.
Yeah, Vegeta, buddy, you're cooked.
Roshi died twice. He can't be brought back. And he also just realized, too, now that he's calmed down, he's been thinking through this. And the Dragon Balls are gone, too, since Piccolo died. Which also means Kami is dead as well. They've lost more than they thought, and these losses might be permanent. Tenshinhan, Bulma, Piccolo, Roshi, Kami, they're gone. What are they supposed to do now? And Vegeta's shocked to hear about this. The Dragon Balls? Like those wish orbs that are rumored to exist? Well, they don't anymore. But that's interesting, that they're out there and they could be used to revive people maybe. He doesn't know what else they could do, if anything, but he knows for a fact they can revive people from this. And from the way they're describing it, it sounds like they can only do that. Not that it matters now. Vegeta can't even seek them out anyways. Even if they were still active too, Vegeta would have no chance at getting them. The group now has to figure out what to do next. Because it's not just all that, but also Vegeta's here too, which could be a problem. Remember, Vegeta initially came here to try and kill everybody. He was not here to help. We go over to Otherworld. Piccolo returns to King Kai, a little bit saddened to be here under these conditions. But also, he's a bit shocked to be in Otherworld too. King Kai tells Piccolo he's turned over a new leaf. Of course he'd be considered a good man.
Right.
And look at how he died
Good,
too.
that's good guy Piccolo's, right?
Defender. And King Kai said he put in a good word for Piccolo. Well, Piccolo thanks King Kai. He's not sure how long he'll be here, and it might be permanent if anything. Once again, he's alone, separated from everyone. He's angry that his training wasn't enough. But King Kai tells him to consider his growth, how much he's grown in strength. And he did put up a really good fight against Frieza too. All that matters is that Earth is safe now, and Piccolo did contribute to that. King Kai then makes a confused face. Oh, looks like he's getting some other visitors too. And Piccolo's confused. Wait, who else died? King Kai fills Piccolo in. Piccolo knows that Kami would have died as well. But he hears that Bulma, Ten, and Roshi died too, with Ten and Roshi then appearing on the planet as well. Even Roshi's surprised to see Ten because he died beforehand. And Ten explains what happened. Roshi tells Ten that the Mufuba was a dangerous technique, and even with his strength, it's no wonder that using on Frieza was that draining. And Ten knew the risk. He's used it before and it took so much out of him, especially with how much of his power he had to put into it this time. And he knows what it did to Roshi before as well. Well, Roshi's glad that he at least knew the risk, and he's proud of Ten for that sacrifice. Soon enough too, Kami shows up on the planet. Not to train, of course, but to see everybody. Piccolo and Kami already realized this, but the other two are now just realizing. They're not going to be coming back. They're dead for good, aren't they? Well, Roshi says even if the Dragon Balls were there, he can't be revived again. He kinda knew that the second he got here. Well, it's probably not too bad being in Otherworld. At least they made it here after all, not hell, so if they gotta spend eternity here, well, whatever, they're just gonna have to deal with it. But King Kai says that doesn't necessarily need to be the case. He tells Piccolo and Kami, they do know about their history, right? Well, it's spotty. And they heard Frieza and Vegeta mentioning something about them being Namekians or whatever, so that's really the extent of their knowledge. King Kai says that if they do want to come back to life, maybe there is a way. Maybe some other Namekians might be able to help. There are more Dragon Balls out there. Wait, what? There's other Dragon Balls out there? Yeah, of course, and King Kai would be glad to help them find them. Well, not them, but the Earthlings, the ones that are still alive. In other circumstances, he wouldn't really want to get involved, but here, because they did defeat Frieza, who is such a plate in the universe, he says he could help them with a favor. King Kai gets in contact with the Earthlings. They hear this weird voice in their heads, but they have no clue who it is. And he introduces himself to those who don't know. And surprisingly enough, they all hear other voices. Piccolo, Ten, Roshi, even Kami. They're all there on this planet too. Bulma's in Otherworld, but not on this planet. Although King Kai says he's sure she's doing fine as well. He tells them not only are their friends okay, but they can come back. There's another set of Dragon Balls out there. Well, most likely. On Namek. There's a wish-granting dragon there as well. And it's no guarantee, but he could point them in the right direction. There is a little bit of an issue though. Normally they'd have someone like Bulma make them a ship, but
right.
She's of course not around. But with Dr. Brief's help, that could actually work. Plus, there are still some Frieza ships.
Oh yeah, her father's still alive, yeah.
He could probably modify those and get them to travel to Namek. Even better, he decides to install a gravity chamber on one of them. Thanks to this help
Yeah,
from
father
King Kai,
got it, yeah.
they're pointed in the right direction and end up going to Namek. But it's not going to be too quick of a journey, and it's going to take a little bit. Thankfully, they can spend some time training on the way there. Not that they're really training for anything, but it's just a good way to kill time. Back on King Kai's planet, Ten's feeling a little bit left behind. He watches on. Roshi tries to learn Kaioken for himself, even though it doesn't really suit him like Piccolo. Ten does train here with King Kai, but opts out of learning Kaioken. It seems like it'll be too tough to try. For Roshi, he handles it surprisingly well. Due to his mastery of Ki and his mastery of martial arts, he's able to maintain a nice balance with it. He doesn't overdo it, and aims to improve this. He can think of a few ways to get this to grow even further, and Ten wonders where he can go next. He saw Yamcha's new form, and he sees that Roshi's doing this awesome technique right here. And it gets Ten thinking, maybe he doesn't need to learn that technique. Yeah, Kaioken's cool and all, but he doesn't necessarily need it. Hell, he doesn't even really need that full power form that Roshi and Krillin have. He starts focusing on something else. Instead of spending time trying to learn Kaioken, he's racking his brain, trying to think of all the ways he can grow.
Super Cyclops, nigga, what the fuck?
He starts going in the right direction, now with this newfound motivation. And also, there's stuff beyond King Kai. He can go around Otherworld, learning techniques from all these other great warriors up here. Learn all these insane abilities from millions and millions of years of warriors. He sees a lot of opportunity up here. Eventually, the group does arrive on Namek. And thankfully this time, it's very peaceful. It's not like the police force is going to be there. Most of them are gone anyways. The group gets into contact with some Namekians, and the Namekians are quickly able to tell. This group isn't here with any threats. Well, maybe Vegeta is. He was dragged along just so everyone can keep an eye on him. And also, he wanted to see how these revival wishes work. He doesn't know if they could do anything else. They're trying to be immortal so bad. If they could revive people, there's potential there for him to use them somehow. The Namekians help point the group into the right place, seeing what they're trying to do. They're led to Grand Elder Guru, and he decides, yeah, they're worthy for the Dragon Balls. He asks Goku to step up, reading his mind, seeing what just went down. And he sees everything they went through, and what they prevented. They stopped Frieza. And Guru says there's no question about it. They should be granted the Dragon Balls. They are making a pretty noble wish after all, reviving their friends. And these wishes are going to be used to save Earth too, because once Piccolo's back, they'll have the Earth Dragon Balls there as well. The Dragon Balls are all gathered, and they summon Porunga, giving him 3 wishes. First, revive Piccolo. Then, revive Roshi. He can't be revived by Earth Dragon Balls anyway, so that needs to be done here. And for the third one, they decide to revive Bulma. And Ten actually tells them he wants to be revived last. He wants to spend a little bit more time up here, so the other 3, they can go before him. He'll come back from Shenron once they're back on Earth. And Kami's intrigued to see how this dragon works, wondering if he should update Earth's Dragon Balls as well.
Yeah, do that, nigga.
And they're glad to help, especially after what the group did, and the fact that they're reviving one of their own, they don't mind. But just as the group's about to leave, a ship starts approaching Namek. They can sense a pretty strong power on it. Great. What's left of the Frieza Force? And Vegeta can immediately tell. He completely forgot. King Cold is still out there.
King Cold?
Who the hell is that? Well, it's Frieza's father. And it seems he probably knew where to find their ship. I mean, they are using a modified Frieza ship after all. Maybe he was able to track it some way like that. Or maybe he was following them this whole time. Vegeta doesn't know. Alright, well, Goku asks Vegeta, how strong is King Cold? Vegeta has no clue. Well, either way, they'll be able to solve this. King Cold lands on the planet, and they decide they're going to take a no-nonsense approach to this. King Cold steps off the ship, greeting everybody. There's a few Frieza Force soldiers with him. It seems most of the army's gone, and he tells them, somebody's going to need to fix this. His son is gone, most of his army's gone, and he wanted to find who's responsible. It seems they were led here, and from space they saw some sort of dragon or something. And King Cold wants to know, what's going on here? He'll find that out and then just slaughter everyone responsible. But no one even responds to him. Goku and Gohan immediately power up, surrounded by a golden aura going into Super Saiyan, with King Cold being taken aback, even stumbling backwards. Super Saiyans? Alongside them, Yamcha powers up into his alpha form, howling just like a wolf as he transforms. The 3 of them all attacking in unison, with the Namekians watching on him.
Why'd I howl? That was crazy.
Before King Cold can even do anything, he's immediately defeated, with Goku, Gohan, and Yamcha all powering down, apologizing to the Namekians. They didn't realize that they would lead somebody else here like that. Well, the Namekians say that's probably better that way then. Nobody even thought to eliminate King Cold, but now he's gone and they don't have to worry about him, I guess. Vegeta just stands there with his jaw hitting the ground. That easily they defeated King Cold. He knew they defeated Frieza already, but this is just something else. They're already starting to learn how to use these forms and growing more powerful in them. It's amazing. The group all thanks the Namekians once again, as everyone goes back to Earth. And as Ten waits to be revived, he stays in Otherworld a bit longer. He's not even with King Kai at the moment. He's going around, meeting other warriors around here, trying to learn any unique techniques from them or whatever, training with all these great people, getting knowledge from them. He sees all these alien warrior races. He sees powerful Earthlings from the past, even some of his ancestors too. There's so much knowledge that could be gained here, so much of it that was lost to time, and now he can go right to the sources themselves. His mind is absolutely blown by this, and he's glad he didn't spend his time learning Kaioken. Yeah, the technique seems cool and all, but look at what he's doing here, all this knowledge he's gained. And he tries to piece everything together, thinking about how he can grow, what he could do.
Look at little Tien.
To Earth, but just as they do, they receive a message from King Kai. He says to wait to revive Ten. They don't really need to revive him immediately, and this is his request, not King Kai's. Well, if he wants to wait, that's fine with them, I guess. King Kai says he's having a lot of fun here. Ten's been training and learning non-stop, and he wonders what he's up to. Well, at least they have all their friends back, and Ten will come back soon enough. Even though all seem lost against Frieza, they're able to recuperate. But what lies ahead for everybody?
That was a good 2 chapters right there, man. I was ready to get into it, man. I like how they all teamed up and jumped. Frieza, man, ain't nothing like a good ass jumping. Yamcha got him a power up. Gohan turned Super Saiyan early. I want to see how the Cell arc do in the next chapter. You know what I'm saying? So That's cool. That's cool. Where Future Trunks at? We gotta see Future Trunks. You know what I'm saying? So, oh wait, there ain't no Future Trunks. I don't know. I don't know how. I don't know how they gonna do the story. If Bulma's still with Yamcha, I don't know. So, you know what I'm saying? So, if you like my reaction, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.